Gayle King built one of the most recognizable careers in American television. But for nearly 3 decades, the woman millions watched every morning was carrying a private life far more complicated than anything she ever let show on camera. Before the national fame, before the CBS morning desk, Gayle was a young woman with serious ambition and very little patience for being underestimated. She grew up partly abroad. Her father's work took the family to Turkey for several years, and that experience of navigating unfamiliar cultures gave her something invaluable: the ability to read people carefully, to listen for what wasn't being said. She later studied psychology at the University of Maryland, which tells you everything about where her head was. She wasn't just interested in headlines, she was interested in what makes people tick. Her entry into broadcasting was slow and unglamorous. Local news, small markets, years of grinding work far from any national spotlight. During that time, she married attorney William Bumpus, had 2 children, and was quietly building what looked like a stable life. But according to Gayle herself, that stability shattered when she discovered her husband had been unfaithful with someone she knew. The marriage ended in divorce in 1993. She went back to work. That pattern, absorbing pain and continuing anyway, would define her entire journey. A nationally syndicated daytime show bearing her name launched in 1997 and was cancelled after a single season. Critics were quick to dismiss her. Many suggested her career existed primarily because of her friendship with Oprah Winfrey, one of the most powerful figures in media. It was a label that followed her for years, and it was cruel in a very specific way. It made her achievements feel borrowed rather than earned. What those critics consistently missed was the evidence right in front of them. Gayle kept showing up. She transitioned into editorial work, radio hosting, and eventually landed at CBS News in 2011. Morning television is brutally competitive, and she arrived with years of rejection behind her. But something shifted. The warmth that traditional newsrooms had once treated as a liability turned out to be exactly what audiences were hungry for: an interviewer who was both prepared and genuinely human. Her reputation reached a turning point in 2019 during a now-famous interview with R. Kelly, who was facing serious criminal allegations at the time. As Kelly grew increasingly agitated, standing up, raising his voice, losing composure, Gayle stayed seated and calm. She simply repeated his name. That image circulated everywhere, and it told a story no resume could. This was a woman who had learned stillness under pressure from years of private survival, not just professional training. Then came the backlash of 2020. During an interview conducted shortly after Kobe Bryant's death, Gayle raised questions about a sexual assault allegation made against Bryant in 2003, a case that was dropped after the accuser declined to testify, followed by a civil settlement. When CBS promoted a short clip that removed much of the broader context, the reaction online was severe. Gayle publicly stated she was angry about how the excerpt was framed. The full interview told a different story than the clip suggested. She got through that too. What Gayle King's story actually reveals is something more honest than a rise-to-fame narrative. It's a portrait of someone who was underestimated at every turn, who survived betrayal both personal and professional, and who became indispensable anyway, not by performing invincibility, but by refusing to quit. If that kind of story resonates with you, hit like and subscribe. There's plenty more where this came from.